Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening and welcome, and thank you for being here. My name is Tara, and I am deeply honored to be here with you tonight as a woman in recovery and the volunteer coordinator for the Recover Project. I'll be guiding us through this evening, a night devoted to remembrance, reflection, and connection. Before we begin, I'd like to share a few details about what to expect. Tonight, we will hear from speakers who carry stories of loss, resilience, and hope. We'll take time to speak aloud the names of those we've lost. Each one, a life that mattered profoundly. And together, we will light candles in their memory, letting their light shine through us and into the night. To my left, you'll find a table on the end where you're invited to design a purple heart in honor of someone you've lost. You can see these hearts hanging around us. You can write their name, a message, or anything that speaks to your love and remembrance. These hearts will become part of our shared tribute. There is a program of tonight's vigil with one small change to what the program says. We will have community open share time before the invocation of names. If you would like to speak about your loved one during the vigil, there is a sign-up sheet here at the table next to me, and we welcome your voice, your story, and your heart. Thank you for being here. Your presence tonight is a powerful act of love, and together we hold space for healing, remembrance, and hope. To begin our evening, I'd like to invite Mayor Ginny DeSolger to say a few words and to deliver the Overdose Awareness Proclamation.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to be here again tonight. And thank you to everybody who's here, all of you who are here to remember and who are working to make things better. You are loved and appreciated. This is a proclamation for International Overdose Awareness Day. Whereas the opioid crisis is a national public health crisis that has claimed more than 1 million lives in the United States since 1999 and continues to devastate communities and families nationwide. Whereas overdose affects people of all ages, races, and backgrounds, causing immense loss of life and placing a profound economic and emotional strain on our neighbors and our loved ones. And whereas we mourn 19,324 lives lost to overdoses in Massachusetts between 2015 and 2024, including 48 Greenfield community members, and whereas harmful societal misconceptions and the stigma associated with addiction often prevent individuals from seeking the help they need, making the fight against this disease even more challenging. Whereas International Overdose Awareness Day serves as a vital opportunity to remember those we have lost, to support individuals in recovery, and to publicly challenge the stigmas that surround addiction. And whereas on this day, we reaffirm our commitment to providing our friends, co-workers, and neighbors with the support and resources they need to overcome addiction. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Ginny DeSorger, Mayor of Greenfield, do hereby proclaim today as International Overdose Awareness Day in the city of Greenfield, and I urge all citizens to observe the day with a spirit of remembrance and a renewed dedication to fighting the overdose crisis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Ginny. Next, we welcome Abby Godfrey, Program Director of the Recover Project, to share our welcoming message.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. Your presence is a powerful act of remembrance, resilience, and love. We gather not just to mourn, but to honor the lives of those we've lost to overdose. Each one irreplaceable, each one deeply loved. This vigil is a sacred space, a space where grief is welcome, where stories matter, and where silence can speak volumes. Whether you are here carrying the weight of a recent loss or the memory of someone gone too soon, know that you are not alone. We are a community bound by heartbreak, but also by hope. Let this vigil be a reminder that healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means holding on to love while learning to live with the pain. It means speaking their names, sharing their stories, and fighting for a world where fewer families have to endure this kind of loss. As we move through this evening together, with stories, with silence, with candlelight, may we find comfort in each other's presence. May we feel the strength of community, and may we carry the memory of those we've lost with tenderness and courage.
Thank you, Abby. Again, I just want to remind people that there's the opportunity to design a purple heart at the table to join those that are blowing in the breeze before us. And also a sign-up sheet if you would like to share. There's a clipboard to sign up for that, or if you'd like to read a name or have a name read following our sharing. So now we will move into a time of personal sharing. If you've signed up to speak, we invite you to come forward and share your story, your memories, and your love. We'll give folks a moment to think about if they'd like to come up and share. So we will now hear from a longtime peer member, Sarah Ahern, who will share and will later lead us in the invocation of names.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you. Thank you for being here today, for the courage it takes to show up and stand together in a space dedicated to a kind of grief that can feel so isolating. We're here to lean on each other, to share stories, and to remember. And in doing so, to make sure no one else has to feel alone in this. For me, the word overdose isn't a headline or a statistic. It's a family album. Over the course of my life, I've had to say goodbye to 8 family members because of substance use. Each loss was a different story, a different heartbreak, and a new layer of silence in a family that once was so loud. This isn't just about a single moment of loss. It's about a decades-long experience of living in grief and loving people who are navigating incredible challenges. My brother Joey was a force. He lit up any room he was in with a smile that was impossibly wide and a laugh that was absolutely contagious. He and his husband, Aaron, even though they didn't have a home of their own, they lived a wealth of generosity. They would give you the shirt off their back, even if it was the last thing they owned. Their love was a true force of nature, a beautiful, powerful bond. When we lost them both, it wasn't just a tragedy, it was a cosmic shift. The world felt colder, quieter, and profoundly less vibrant. It's a hole that never fills, just changes shape around the edges. I miss his humor, his unwavering loyalty, and the way that he could make me feel like everything was going to be all right, even when it wasn't. Then there was my beautiful niece. She was so smart and loved fiercely, and she truly enjoyed taking care of others. Her path was different, a long and complicated journey. She didn't pass away in a single moment, but from the medical complications that substance use had caused. It was a slow, heartbreaking goodbye, a process of watching a vibrant young life slowly dim, a life that should have been full of the light and love she so readily gave to others. I learned a different kind of grief with her, the kind that comes from a series of small losses, leading up to one final immense one. I saw firsthand the profound, isolating pain she carried, and I saw how much she wanted to live. That kind of pain, that profound, layered grief, is what drove me to do this work. For decades, I've been dedicated to creating community grief spaces. These aren't just support groups, they're sanctuaries. They're places where you can come as you are without having to explain or justify your pain. It's where we remember that our loved ones were more than the worst moments of their lives. We must remember them for who they were and do not define them solely on the fact that they used drugs, whatever the reason. They were siblings, parents, children, partners, and friends. They were people who had dreams and favorite songs and bad jokes. This is what peer grief space means to me. It's the sacred ground we create when we say to each other, I see you, I get it, I've been there too. It's about being present and allowing yourself to be vulnerable in the presence of someone else who understands. It's about sharing a quiet nod, a knowing look, or a gentle touch in the arm that says more than words ever could. In a world that wants to put our loved ones into neat boxes of user and addict, we can stand together and declare that they were so much more than that. They were human. That's why this day is so important to me. Overdose Awareness Day isn't about shame or judgment. It's about stripping that away and showing the truth, that every overdose death is a policy failure. It is a failure of our systems to provide accessible health care, to decriminalize substance use, and to fund the harm reduction initiatives that save lives. It is a failure to treat people with the dignity and respect they deserve, regardless of their struggles. When a person dies from a preventable overdose, it's not a personal failing, it's a systemic one. This day is a commitment to remember the love we shared, not just the way we lost them. It's a commitment to honor their memories by pushing for changes that will make sure others don't have to carry this burden alone. We are fighting for a world where treatment is a right, not a privilege, where compassion is the first response, not the last resort. We must advocate for safe supply, for overdose prevention sites, and for a society that sees and values every single life. So today, let's take a moment. Let's remember the laughter, the quirks, and the unique souls that they were. Let's not just commemorate their deaths, but celebrate their lives. And let's turn our collective grief into action, our shared pain into hope. Thank you for being here, for holding this space with me, and for helping to build a world where we can all heal together.
Thank you, Sarah.
I had a friend who was like a sister to me. Her name was Crystal. Her mother had said to me that after her husband got done, she had died of an overdose. And her boyfriend was supposed to take care of her and not let anything happen to her, and apparently that didn't happen. And from what I know, her husband had died prior of an overdose also, but I don't remember what kind of overdose it was or anything. I don't remember anything her mother told me. But anyways, I've been very, every time I think about her a lot, because she's like a sister to me. And her mother's is like I call her mom because she's just like my mom, because I call her sister. I mean, I call her daughter sister all the time. And I used to say to her, we never met in person, but the thing is, over Facebook, I used to ask about her children and how they were doing and everything, and about her grandchildren, or not her grandchildren, sorry, how the children are doing. And she was telling me about that they were doing very good and everything, and then it just hurts. Also, I have another friend who I know for a while here in Greenfield, and his name was Crispy. She called him Crispy all the time, and we were hanging out and everything, and then one day I was wondering where Crispy was. So I said to my friends, I said, "Where's Crispy?" And they told me what happened to him. I'm like, really? So then, it's just so many deaths and so many overdoses, and I'm really glad to be here today in order to honor these people and honor everybody who had died from overdose, and to keep them in our memories, and to not forget about them, and to always keep them alive in our hearts.
Hi, my name is Wade. So my fiance passed away sadly about 4 years ago. And it seemed like all was going well. Everything was going great. She had an OUI case that I just paid a ton of money for her lawyer, you know. And we just beat the case. So on the day she passed away, we were supposed to go look at apartments. And I was like, okay, you ready to go, Sue? And she's like, no, you just go, I'm not feeling great. I'm like, okay, I didn't think much of it. You know, so I went and looked at the apartment, and, you know, it was beautiful. So I ended up saying, okay, well, we're gonna take the apartment. So I get back home, and I go into my mom's house, and my mom was blind. Just to throw that out there. So I go up to Sue, and I'm like, Sue, so we're gonna take the apartments. They're beautiful. and I'm like, Sue, and I'm trying to wake her up. And something happened while I was gone because she passed away. And I can remember the paramedics just, just working on her and just hearing that sound, just like where they're powering up the charger, the zapper. But yeah, my poor mom had to deal with this too. And she's like, from me to her in her bed, and Sue was right here, like they were that close. So she must not have heard anything. She must have went peacefully. I don't know exactly what happened. Something with alcoholism, and her heart, and whatever else, transpired. And yeah, and then 5 days later, my mom died. So that was just a turning point. Like all hope was lost. But now I've been clean for 7 months. I'm in a program over here, which is a great program. Yeah, I think that's about it. But thank you for letting me share.
My name is Doreen. My son Justin lost his life 4 years ago on July 23rd, 3 weeks after his 38th birthday, 2.5 months after his father died, and his sister is the one who found him. And he was a great kid, had my personality. His favorite line always was, "Hey Mom, what you doing?" And I'd say, "What do you want?" He'd always say a ride somewhere. But he was a good kid, and I just don't know what else to say about him except he knows we still love him. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm Val.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stories like the one I'm gonna tell you. And it may sound meaningless because he wasn't family, but I used to work in a treatment facility. And so this kid named Dylan was in his early 20s. And what a good kid. And we got along really well, and I was then managing our long-term sober housing, and Dylan was a part of that. And we talk about, he couldn't believe that I liked video games. And so that's what we would talk about when he couldn't sleep. He'd come into my office and we'd talk about video games. And he stole my heart. I always say, they find their way in and become this heartworm, but not the kind that'll kill you. But so when we got word that he had OD'd in his car after making a phone call to his best friend and telling him, "I'm gonna use," and his best friend begging him not to, "'Cause you're alone, don't do it," and he did anyway, and he lost his life. And it broke my heart, because he wasn't the first, he won't be the last. I saw a lot of those kids in the treatment center come and go, and anytime we got confirmation about something like that happening, all of the staff spent most of the day crying, because even if it was only 28 days that they were with us, we got attached, and they had great personalities. Most of them were artists of some type, just brilliant kids. And so it was really hard to see them go like that. And people, sometimes it takes people a couple of times through a system like that to get it, but we never judged if they came back. Dylan was one of those kids that came back a couple of times, and I was always happy to see him because I was glad he made it back. And so yeah, this is important, and the hurt that people feel because of this isn't okay. And I feel for all of the families that have lost. But anyway, thanks for letting me share that story.
My name is Alex Stamatis. I'm an outreach coordinator with the Recover Project. I'm grateful to be here, and I just want to thank the people who shared before me, and the people who are listening. It's equally as important. I just want to talk about one of my friends, Sam Silver. Was born on November 14th, 1990, and he died of an overdose August 30th, 2016. And he was my best friend in the world. We got sober together, and we had to get sober in the electric city of Scranton. So if it wasn't hard enough to stay sober, we had to do it in Scranton on top of that. But Sam loved the Washington Commanders. He loved hip-hop music, and he loved his country music, and he asked me to move to Colorado with him from Pennsylvania. He said, "I'm taking my car though, so I know you can't drive stick, so because I have to drive the whole way, I'm gonna make you listen to country for 28 hours. Because he knew that country music wasn't my favorite. He never took recovery too seriously. He had fun in recovery. He said life is for living, not living uptight. And I think he stole that from Jay-Z, but I would sit on a porch with him, and we used to smoke a lot of Newports, and I would tell him about this idea I had for like an art project, more of a process, really, and I didn't even have a name for it yet. Today it's an LLC, it's a company called Punch Paint, but he looked at me and he said, "If you don't do it, no one else will." So he passed away a year before I started the company. So every time I punch paint, every time I make a piece of art, I do it for Sam. And he's part of my sobriety, and he used to tell me this acronym, NERD, no one ever really dies, because he loved his Pharrell Williams too. So I just have a couple quotes that he would want me to read. Start over. Be brave enough to find the life you want, courageous enough to chase it, then start over and love yourself the way you were always meant to. All you have to do is show up, be late, be scared, be a mess, be weird, be confused, just be there. You'll figure out the rest as you go. Sometimes you get hurt so deep that you have to let go many times before you start to feel a little better. Healing happens in circles, not lines. You'll return to old places with new eyes. We have calcium in our bones, iron in our veins, carbon in our souls, and nitrogen in our brains, 93% stardust, with souls made of flames. We are all just stars that have people names. You're not healing to be able to handle trauma, pain, anxiety, depression. You're used to those. You're healing to be able to handle joy and learn to accept happiness back into your life. I think it's brave that you get up in the morning even if your soul is weary and your bones ache for a rest. I think it's brave that you keep on living even if you don't know how to anymore. I think it's brave that you push away the waves rolling in every day and you decide to fight. I know there are days when you feel like giving up, but I think it's brave that you never do. And I hope he thinks this is funny. Memory lane up in the headlights. It's got me reminiscing on them good times. I'm turning off real life driving, that's right. I'm hitting Easy Street on mud tires. Rest in peace, Sam Silver. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to take this time to share?
My name is Pamela Goodwin. I live over here at the Weldon. I'm just going to make a comment about a brave Marine. I'm not going to use names except for my own. He came back from fighting as a Marine, had a hip replacement in the course of that, serving his country. He later fell, had the same hip break again. He was told he would have to wait quite a while to get that hip fixed. He didn't want to go on a drug. He said, I don't want to do that. He was pretty much had to be on the drug, waiting for the surgery. It's a successful surgery, but when we talk about the kinds of things that people put up with, that's one example. He did not want that drug. He couldn't live with the pain. He had a local doctor that says, you're gonna take this drug and you're gonna wait for your surgery out in Springfield. So that's part of the problem too, that I think we're also talking about. He's fine today. He has a great sense of humor. He has a wife. He has a dog. He does not drive anywhere, but he just came back from another camping trip with his dog and his wife. So his life is going on. But we're forcing people to take medication that they really don't want because they have to wait so long to get something fixed in their physical body. I don't think it's right. Thanks for listening.
Before we move into the readings of the names of those we've lost and hold close to our hearts, I wanted to just bring attention to our program. There's a poem in our program, and give folks another chance if they'd like to sign up either to share or read. The poem says, "For all we've lost, they were ours, not just one, but many, too many, each with a story, a laugh, a name spoken in love, each with moments we still carry. They were not defined by how they've left, but by how they lived, with courage, with struggle, with hope that flickered but never fully went out. We remember them in the quiet, in the light, in the fight to make things better. This grief is shared, this love is shared, and so is the promise to keep speaking their names, to keep telling their stories. We live with the absence, but we carry the presence, not in shadows, but in the way love stays unseen but never gone." Thank you again to all who've shared. And at this time, we will move into the invocation of names. And again, I want to thank Sarah for her willingness to read these names aloud. We will be chiming our singing bowl after each name. And you are also welcome, after the names that we've listed, to come up and speak a name yourself if you'd like.
I'd like to invite everybody to come into the labyrinth. It's that circular pattern that you see in the middle of the space. Please grab a candle that's in the center table. I'm also a peer grief helper with Shadow D, and we have a process, around invoking names, and we'll go over that after I've finished invoking the names I have here. Todd Wise Jr., Susan Ostrowski, Austin Wise, Michael Daly, Zach Maynard, Shay Lynch, David Pekarovic, Nicholas Demaria, excuse me. Kelly Johnson, Ashley Benlin, Chelsea Vest, Christine Lombardi, Brian Weber, Tom Fish, John Ahern, Cory Watson, Stephanie Pederzini, Nick, Aaron Alfonso Robinson, Joseph John Buczynski, Chelsea Helena Potila, Sierra, Jeffrey Robert Snide. I'd like to invite anybody that would like to call their loved one into the circle that you may just speak their name. Dylan,
Thank you all for gathering in a circle. Let this circle be a symbol of unity, of grief held together, and of hope carried forward. I invite Regina, who will lead us in our closing.
Thank you. As our candles flicker in the night, they do more than illuminate the darkness. They carry the light of memory, of truth, and of love. Tonight, we light them not only to remember, but to shine a light on the truth, that every life lost to overdose was a life that mattered, a life full of laughter, dreams, struggles, and love. These were our sons and daughters, our siblings, our parents, our friends, and they deserved more time. Before we part, I invite us all to join in a moment of silence. Let it be a space for reflection, for remembrance, and for connection. In this quiet, may we feel the presence of those we've lost and the strength of those still beside us. Let us take that moment together. Let us carry their stories forward, not just let their memory guide us to speak openly, to advocate fiercely, and to love without judgment. Let tonight be a promise that we will not let stigma silence us, and we will not let grief isolate us. Though the pain of loss is deep, so too is the strength of this community. And in that strength, there is hope. Hope that through compassion, connection, and courage, we can build a future where fewer candles are lit in mourning and more are lit in celebration of recovery, resilience, and life. Thank you for being here. Thank you for remembering. And thank you for continuing to hope. I invite you now to walk towards the tree and place your candles alongside the purple hearts we've created in remembrance. Together, they will remain glowing through the evening, a quiet tribute to the lives we hold close in our hearts.